If you're only using Claude to ask questions, you're only using about 15% of what Claude can actually do. There are 6 things that you need to know about Claude, 4 of which are different ways that you can actually deploy it in your stack. The other 2 make all of them way more powerful. And what is interesting is 99% of the technical leaders I talk to have never heard of most of these. I'm going to walk you through all 6. I'm going to tell you what they are used for, and by the end of this video, you're going to know which one your team should be using this week. Starting with number 1, Claude Chat. Now, this is the one that you have probably heard of. You go to claude.ai, you type a question, you get an answer. And the good news is, it works everywhere. It works in your browser, it works on your phone, it works on your desktop. It is the same Claude and the same conversation with everything synced in the cloud. If you've only used this version before, you're still in a really good spot because this is the foundation, but this is the start of Claude, not the whole thing. Every product I'm about to show you builds on top of Claude Chat. Claude Chat is best for the stuff founders and engineers do all day. Drafting technical specifications, thinking through an architecture trade-off, sanity checking a system design, debugging a concept you're stuck on, reviewing investor messaging, writing the internal doc you've been putting off. If you are brand new to Claude, this is where you stop. If you've been using AI for a while, keep watching because the next ones are for you. And that brings us to number 2, Claude Cowork. This is the one that most technical teams haven't even heard of unless they've been working deeper with Claude. Cowork has fundamentally changed my week. It is one of the most used AI tools in my arsenal. That's because Cowork is a desktop app. It lives on your computer, and the important part is it can see all of your files. It can open your files, it can edit them, it can save new ones. With Cowork, you give it a task and goes and does that task. This is different from chat because you are not just asking it questions or talking to a chat window anymore. Claude Cowork is actually working on your computer with real files, which is only the beginning, by the way, because it has access to so much more. And this is built for people who don't want to do the work themselves. If you are a founder or a CTO, shipping fast is most of us. If you've ever thought, I wish AI could just go do that for me instead of telling me how to do it, that's Cowork. It's a 24/7 personal employee that does tasks for you anytime you want it to. Cowork is best for anything that involves actual files, real automations, or tasks where Claude needs to touch your computer. An example, you point Claude Cowork at 6 months of customer support transcripts and have it produce a churn driver analysis with codes pulled out. Or you can hand it your config repo and ask it to audit every IAM policy for over-permissioning. 20 minutes later, you have a report and 3 open PRs fixing the worst ones. Or you can do what I did, which was point it at the chaos of my due diligence folder before I rise, read every doc, rename them consistently, drop the duplicates, and produce a clean data room index for the lawyers because I hate file admin. And number 3, dispatch. Now this one has been in the news lately. If you follow AI, you've probably heard of it. To me, this is a real game changer, especially for technical founders who don't sit at a desk. Dispatch lets you assign a task to Claude from your phone. Claude does all the work back on your desktop at home or in your office, and then it sends you back a finished result on your phone. This could be while you're on the go, at a coffee shop, between investor meetings, at a conference. Doesn't matter where you are, because you are using your phone. What is important to know here is, it is working on the files on your computer, at home, or in your office. But you're controlling it from your phone. I think that's really cool because this is one continuous conversation. You can start a task from your phone on the way to work and then follow up on your laptop when you sit down at your desk. Same thread, same memory. You don't have to start over. For a founder, that means you can dispatch, pull our top 5 churn metrics for the board update on the way into the meeting and have it ready when you sit down. For an engineer, you can dispatch, triage these 3 sentry alerts while you're at lunch and walk back to your return analysis. But before we move on to what I think is the most powerful tool in Claude for engineers specifically, take a second and subscribe. It would really help the channel out. But let's continue with number 4. Claude Code. Now, if the first 3 things were thinking and helping, this one is for building. And I mean building real applications. Claude Code is a tool for building software. It can run in your terminal or you can use it inside the Claude desktop app. But just like Cowork, you tell it what you want and it is going to handle everything for you. The most important thing to remember here is this is building real applications, where Claude Cowork might be looking at your config files or your support transcripts. Claude Code is writing code. It is writing, it is testing, it is looking for bugs, and is giving you real working output. If you are an engineer thinking, I already write code, I don't need this, Claude Code isn't replacing you. It is the leverage layer. I've used it to ship features in an hour that would have taken me 3 days. If you are a CTO, this is where your whole team gets 3 times faster. If you're a founder who doesn't code, well, guess what? You do now. I thought the same thing. But when I started using Claude Code, I built over 150 internal tools and AI agents just by telling it what I wanted. And then it built them for me. So yes, you are a developer. If you can think of something, Claude Code can build it for you. Okay, so these are the 4 different ways you can actually use Claude. The last 2 aren't products per se, they are add-ons. They are upgrades. They make the first 4 way more powerful. Which brings us to number 5, plugins. Think of these apps in an app store, except App Store is Claude. A plugin is a bundle of tools and connectors that are pre-built for you. You install one into Claude and it gets a brand new ability. Plugins work inside Claude Work and Claude Code. For a founder or a CTO, the obvious ones are the plugins that connect Claude to the stack you already run. Install the Linear plugin and Claude can read your tickets and update them. Install the GitHub plugin and it can open PRs, review them, leave comments. Install the Stripe plugin and it can pull your MMR and churn numbers in real time. Install the Datadog plugins and it can analyze your instance. Install the Snowflake plugin, it can query your warehouse for you. Plugins are best for extending what Claude can actually do without you having to build the integration yourself. It is a catalog for you to choose from. Which brings us lastly to number 6, skills. This is the one that most technical leaders will probably find the most useful, but most teams aren't using it yet. A skill is really simple. It is a folder with instructions in it. That's it. It is a little set of step-by-step directions that teaches Claude exactly how to do one specific job really well. And Claude reads those instructions every time the job comes up. You're basically encoding your team's playbook once, so Claude doesn't need to be rebriefed every time. For founders and CTOs, that means a skill for review this PR against our coding standards. A skill for write an incident postmortem in our format. A skill for draft a customer onboarding email in our voice. A skill for convert this raw user interview into a structured product specification. Encode it once, every member of your team gets the benefit forever. Skills work everywhere Claude works. That's Claude Chat, Cowork, and Code. You install it once and it works across all of them. And you can grab skills other people created or build one yourself in an afternoon. Skills are best for any task you're going to ask Claude to do more than once. That way you don't have to type it out every single time. It's just there. Okay, so remember this. Claude Chat is for thinking. Claude Cowork is for getting stuff done on your computer. Dispatch is for handing off tasks from your phone. Claude Code is for building real software. Plugins extend what Claude can do. And skills teach it how your teams want things done. Now, the task for you. Pick the one that matches what you're trying to ship this week. You don't have to master all 6 in one day. You can if you want to, but you know now that they exist, which already puts you ahead of 99% of the founders and CTOs using AI today. If this was helpful, then subscribe, because I'm making a full walkthrough of every single one of these, one video at a time, and I'll show you exactly how to use each one in a real engineering team, because that's the whole point here. So I'll see you in the next one.